I'm sorry, kiddo, I really am. You have a good soul. And I hate giving good people bad news.
I'm Tony. He's Mike, and because you all seem to enjoy it when we review Mockumentary so much, we decided to do 2000? 2000. Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Best in Show.
The 125th annual Mayflower Kennel Club Dog Show. 3,000 dogs competing for Best in Show.
That goal is that Best in Show ribbon.
Actually, poodle means puddle in German.
You left it at the hotel. Go to the hotel and get busy, me!
The miniature schnauzer. You'd think they'd want to breed them bigger, wouldn't you, like grapefruits or watermelons? He went after her like she's made out of ham.
Well, let's go through the cast. You already said Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, John Michael Higgins, Michael McKean, Michael Hitchcock, Parker Posey, Jennifer Coolidge, Jane Lynch, Christopher Guest, and I only mention these two because they're a prominent part there in the end, Jim Piddock and Fred Willard as the announcers. Because without the announcers at the end, the whole dog show scene just wouldn't be the same.
Am I seeing right? Where's she putting her hands now?
She's just checking out the dog's testicular area to make sure that everything is intact.
Hate to go out on a date with Judge Edie Franklin, have her judge me. That'd be no fun.
Okay, so just to sum this movie up in a sentence, is this basically follows 5 pairs of owners on their way to the Mayflower Dog Show and their trek from winning the regionals to getting to go to the nationals and who actually is going to win Best in Show. That's it. That's all you need to know. It follows them. Now, okay, first off, your mileage on this one is going to vary, possibly. It's going to be based on how much do you love Eugene Levy and how much do you love Catherine O'Hara? Because if you are fans of theirs, this movie is just going to make you all bright and shiny and happy on the inside. And I adore this movie.
Well, you say that, but there's equal time with all the contestants.
Yes.
This movie is really just a big character study.
Yes.
In absurdity. with funny enough, the gay couple is probably the most level-headed out of all of them. Even though they're flamboyant, they're very chill. They're very relaxed.
They're fun.
And they're fun. Yes, they're a lot of fun.
Seen enough dogs today, have you?
Dogs, yes. Big show. There's a lot of them here in the hotel.
A lot of pretty dogs.
A lot of them here in the lobby.
Poor Eugene Levy, who's Jerry in this movie, is married to Cookie. Cookie has been with hundreds
of lovers.
He wasn't aware of this when he got into this shit.
It's revealed in the first scene. I don't know, dozens. Hundreds.
She had dozens of boyfriends.
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds.
I did not know that.
So, and it's so matter-of-factly just dropped, like right there. And you get to watch Eugene Levy struggle to come to terms with hundreds. Oh, I was quite a Casanova myself back in the day. And then they showed the photo of him.
And then he literally has 2 left feet. Like, literally 2 left feet.
Because when they met, she wanted to dance, and he said he can't dance. He has 2 left feet.
He didn't want to dance. I was like dancing by myself.
I did not want to dance because...
Say, get up, Jerry.
I kept saying, I can't dance. I've got 2 left feet.
And he legitimately, genetically has 2 left feet, which is great. But then they also talk about the fact that Cookie was the one that actually got him to do therapy, and he actually could dance now. So... as much as they frown upon her past, and as much as they reference her past throughout the entire film.
It's a running joke all the way to the very end of the movie. She keeps running to past lovers. It's fucking hilarious.
It's dark and funny at the same time.
Cookie Googleman?
Yeah?
Does this ring a bell? I'm not wearing underwear.
Then we have... let's see here. where are they? They're the Swans. Parker Posey and Michael Hitchcock.
Yes. It starts off that they're in a therapy session where they're talking to their dog therapist about the fact that their dog is angry at them because it saw them making love.
Beatrice has been showing signs of depression.
She's also been very, very angry with us. Ever since she saw us having sex.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to see that.
It will take you a bit to decode this one, but they're getting angrier and more frustrated throughout the entire course of the film to where they finally snap at the actual dog show. And then like, you know, they're blaming everything on everything that's not them, which is
Well,
funny.
they blame it on the dog.
Yes.
Indirectly, because everything is focused on the dog.
Busy bee. You want your busy bee, you get your busy
You
bee.
get the busy bee. I need to trim her whiskers.
It's not in here. It's not in here.
It should be in the crate.
It's not in the crate. I just told you that.
God, Hamilton, if she doesn't get into it, he's gonna flip out.
Since they can't have sex, they have all this sexual tension through the whole movie until finally they get rid of the dog because the dog blows it.
Yes.
During the performance, and then at the end they get the new dog, and the new dog is totally chill with them having sex, so everything's great again.
So happy now.
We're so happy.
And our sex life is finally back on track. Huh?
Finally.
Beatrice had so many problems.
So many problems. She was a real problem.
So, hey, you got to keep the action going in the bedroom. If there's no action in the bedroom, that's not good.
I'm just gonna let him just leave that one right there. So, but it's you have the gay couple, and the gay couple is hilarious throughout. And yes, they flamboyantly gay, absolutely.
Yeah. It was like they were two members of the same body, you might say, and it was a wonderful sight.
I knew a guy who had two members on the same
Will
body.
you stop it?
They are, but
again, they're the most chill group.
They let everybody know it. They have no shame about it whatsoever, and that's kind of what's delightful about those two as a couple, because the banter between them. I know couples that's exactly how they talk to each other.
Counting those, I have you've already packed 6 kimonos.
All right, so here's 7.
We're in Philadelphia for 48 hours.
So I need
how many
more.
tea services can you do? Why are you doing this? I mean, I think we're overpacking, don't you?
Well, no.
And so it's very true to life, but in the happiest, funniest, funnest way.
Yes.
And then you have Christopher Guest, who is the co-writer on this film, by the way, and is also Jamie Lee Curtis's husband.
Oh, really? I did not know this.
Yes, and he's also a member. He is actually British aristocracy.
Oh, didn't know that
He
either.
actually did serve briefly in the House of Lords.
Okay.
So that's not his accent at all. His southern drawl and him talking about fly fishing, all of that is complete fabrication on this one.
Aside from fishing, dogs have always been a big thing in my family. My father was a coonhound man.
And he's like the absolute redneck. He's thrilled by ventriloquism, and he's thrilled by fly fishing. And he just happens to have a really great dog, and people keep telling him that he should go to Mayflower. Go to Mayflower. So he does. And
his character's a little bit annoying, but not super bad.
Not annoying. Just when you have all these other characters and they're completely obsessed with their dogs, and it's so important to them, especially. Oh God.
I mean, he
Stifler's
loves
mom.
he loves his dog though. That baby's talk scene with the dog drove me up a fucking wall.
So when he's doing that, he's talking. He's saying, "What you do?" He's saying, "What you do? What you do? What you do? What you do?" And he's saying, "I'm ready." That's when you know he's ready for show.
Anyways,
but then you have Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
and
Jane Lynch.
Yeah, Jane Lynch, and they have this relationship. Stifler's mom. God damn, what is her name? Stifler's mom. It's
Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge acts at the beginning like this whole dog show is so very important to her and all this, and then you find out throughout the course of the film that no, she's actually just attracted to the dog handler played by Jane Lynch, and they have a breakthrough at the end of the whole thing.
What is Sherry Ann wearing? and she.
Wow.
And it's kind of weird though too, because like she's like very weird in her relationship, because like she's using her husband for the money.
Yeah.
Who's Blue in Old School.
Blue, you're my boy!
And then it's kind of like Jane Lynch is just using Jennifer Coolidge's character to do the dog stuff, because she's really into the dog stuff.
Yeah.
Jennifer Coolidge is just there along for the ride.
Yes.
Really just a kennel until Sherry Ann and Leslie showed up, and their generosity has turned this humble little kennel.
It was a shit box.
Very much so.
And then she's fucking like just stressing out about this stuff. Like the whole relationship with her and Jane Lynch is stressing her out because she's like eating.
I would normally just be out here pigging out, but I'm a little nervous right now.
And then later, when they're at the new dog center thing, whatever.
The magazine, yeah, they start publishing a magazine about dogs.
And then she's eating.
Actually, I'm going to say this. Jennifer Coolidge's character, and you're absolutely right, this movie is character study of all these people. And Jane Lynch's character is a professional. She absolutely is into dogs. She knows exactly what she's talking about, but there's a lot of bravado there. She cuts herself out to be a far better handler than she actually is, and she winds up not winning.
Yep.
And that's kind of a huge blow. But to keep the relationship going, they launched the dog magazine, which is on its third thing. Jennifer Coolidge's character, whenever she's under stress, she eats. She really doesn't care. But the way that I interpreted this film is that Jennifer Coolidge really wanted to be with Jane Lynch's character, and she was looking for any excuse, and then now she's got her, so she's bored again.
But the silver lining of this cloud, of course, is that, it brought us to a new level in our relationship.
Mm-hmm. My favorite scene in this movie is they decide that Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara's characters, they decide that they're going to stop and visit some friends on their way. And it turns out that he's one of Cookie's former previous lovers. And they're having the most awkward dinner conversation ever. And it turns out that he's a hostage negotiator. and they always jump. That's something that they don't tell you.
That's a trade secret.
How many people have you talked down? I mean, is there a...
Well, they always jump. I've got news for you. It's a little secret from the trade.
Then he goes outside. His kid has taken the dog and climbed up on top of the shed with a parachute. And he goes, honey... Stand back, I do this for a living.
Shoot around again. Please, this is what I do. Please, honey, this is what I do.
Don't be mad at him, please.
I'll gouge your left eye out with my thumb. I shit you not, you freak.
It is perfectly acted. It is absolutely spectacular as far as that goes. That is the biggest laugh that this movie gets out of me.
For me, the biggest laughs come at the end. Bring it in.
I'm sorry.
Bring it in.
Okay, I'm good.
The biggest laughs for me come at the actual show with Fred Willard and Jim Piddock.
Oh,
when they're the team, they are the gold standard of the farcical color commentary duo. Because everybody after that copied these guys' shtick.
Oh, absolutely. Dodgeball?
Yes, Dodgeball is a big one. There's countless others. I can't think off the top of my head, but yeah. They all stole fucking poor Fred Willard's shtick.
Training for dogs. As you know, I have a franchise of schools around the country.
I didn't know that. I went to one of those obedience places once. It was all going well till they spilled hot candle wax on my private parts.
Yeah, Fred Willard owns the last third of this movie.
Yes.
Every second of it is all him. Like every time that they cut back to the two announcers, you're waiting to hear what's going to come out of his mouth, and none of it makes any sense, but it's hilarious.
Why do they have him run away from him and then back up? What's the point of that? What are they looking for?
Looking for the gait and movement.
Good way to judge a woman. Have her run away from you and then run back. I'm used to seeing them run away from me more often than run towards me.
And then the thing is, okay, so when they shot this movie, they had a budget. They had a 16-page outline. They did not have a fully realized script. Everything was improv. They shot 60 hours of footage for this, and they specifically told Fred Willard, do not research anything about dogs. And then they sat him down at that table and then they just let him go. So when you hear him talking about, hey, could we get like one of those Sherlock Holmes hats?
Why didn't he put the bloodhound, put on one of those Sherlock Holmes hats and put a little pipe in his mouth? Are they ever allowed to do anything like that?
And the straight man in that whole scene, how the hell he managed to get through some of that shit without just losing it, I will never know.
He did a great job of not breaking character.
It's spectacularly good. But yeah, the Cookie and Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, they are the reason why I stick through this whole movie and why I adore this movie. But when you get to that last act, it is all Fred Willard time. So
it is, it sure is. I'm gonna say this. I remembered enjoying this movie more than I did watching it again.
Yeah.
This time around, I still enjoyed it, but for me, it's nowhere near on the level as Drop Dead Gorgeous. Drop Dead Gorgeous, I laughed from beginning to fucking end. Here, I find some of the characters ultra annoying, and I know that's the point.
Yeah.
It's the point. But sometimes it's just too fucking much. And the absurdity of their characters, because like in Drop Dead Gorgeous, everybody's in on the joke in Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like the scenes, the settings, the other people that they interact with, and all the events they tie in. So whatever affects like the one scene with the shellfish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where everybody throws up because they ate the shellfish.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so everybody in that world is in on the joke. Here, it's only the characters that are on the joke. The rest of the world is just a normal world. So it's like it amplifies the absurdity of these characters.
Yes.
So, and again, I know that's the point, but it's why I didn't enjoy this as much as Drop Dead Gorgeous, because Drop Dead Gorgeous is just pure comedy from beginning to end.
You're absolutely correct. I don't disagree with that. As far as mockumentaries go, this is just slightly less funny than Drop Dead Gorgeous. Drop Dead Gorgeous it knows when to just completely go off the rails, and when Kirstie Alley's character, becomes the sniper on top of the building, like they knew where to steer that ship. They knew that okay, we've got to keep amping it up as we go along. This one starts absurd and kind of gets, stays at a specific level throughout the entirety of the film. But all of the characters feel more consistent. I'm not going to tell you that there's like arcs for all of them and there's growth for every one of them. They're the same characters at the end of this film that they are at the beginning. Drop Dead Gorgeous, on the other hand, everybody has arcs in that one, which I think makes it a better watch, narratively speaking. That's number one. But number two, I mean, Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara have been together in like a multitude of projects over 40 years. They've known each other. They started on SCTV in '76, and they're still doing stuff together. They just wrapped up Schitt's Creek like 2 years ago. So they are the ultimate power couple. Whenever they're a married couple in a movie, it automatically makes it better. And so I adore the both of them. I love the fact that Eugene Levy will play any character whatsoever, no matter how goofy or stupid or weird. But there's always an endearing quality to them. He literally just did Only Murders in the Building this last season that just wrapped up. And he's actually playing Eugene Levy, but he's being cast to play Steve Martin's character in the film that they're making about the podcast. And his insight and analysis into Steve Martin as a character and like, well, I'm trying to figure out how to play you like this. It's so perfectly handled. Eugene Levy is an amazingly smart man. He's an amazingly charismatic man. And you can dress him up or dress him down. When you see him as Mr. Rose on Schitt's Creek, he looks very dapper and very like accustomed to the good life. And when you see him in this, he looks like the ultimate nerd that grew up to be your dad.
One thing I'll say about this movie is that expertly acted. Everybody here does their job. Like, you forget you're watching Eugene Levy. You forget you're watching Catherine Hare. You forget you're watching Parker Posey, Stifler's mom, and Jane Lynch. Yeah, they do a great job in acting in this movie. So I will absolutely not take that away from this film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very well done film. I did enjoy this film, just not as much as I thought I would upon probably my third watch.
I was going to say, this is probably, it's a bigger surprise when you go in and you know nothing about it and you watch it the first time. The laughs are bigger the first time. When you know what the jokes are coming, it loses a little bit of its edge. Drop Dead Gorgeous, however, is razor sharp, so it still keeps cutting. But,
it's still fresh every time.
Exactly. This movie had a budget of $10 million.
Was this a winner?
It had a box office of $20.8 million. Oh. Now, this was a word-of-mouth movie. Yeah. And I say that in that this movie opened up in 13 theaters, and it did so amazingly well that it got a broad release to 497 theaters.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, let's be honest though, $20 million on a $10 million budget is exactly setting the world on fire.
$10 million. Well, keep in mind this: it's $10 million, and
dude,
it's independent film money. So it's not like there was a huge ad campaign or Super Bowl spots.
You still can't spin this to make this some rousing success. It's
so,
not.
Well, keep in mind this too: that because this was a word-of-mouth film, that when this came out on home video, it became huge, and so it's huge on streaming, oh God, I was going to say, Parker Posey, I don't think gets enough appreciation. Parker Posey is one of those actresses that I have followed her career since like The Party Girl and The Day Trippers, and like she was 19, I think, in those, and you know she was in Josie and the Pussycats. She was in Blade 3.
Don't forget one of the most iconic roles in fucking Dazed and Confused.
All right, you little freshman bitches! All right!
Yes, and she's
air raid bitches.
She's one of those actresses that can literally play it up, play it down.
Yeah.
She can play the smart girl, she can play the dumb girl, she can play the pretty girl, she can play the dumb girl, or the ugly girl. She has done everything and been everywhere, and she just does not get enough recognition for how versatile an actress she is.
Well, because all she does is fucking art films.
Yeah, she does indie
films and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, the only big budget thing, or the two, is Josie and the Pussycats, which is an MTV movie.
Yeah.
And then she did the Superman movie with Brandon Routh.
Well, Blade 3. Yes, that's right. She was Mrs. Tessmacher in Superman Returns. I forgot about that.
Who fucking nails it in that role. She's perfect in it.
Yes.
I mean, she's great. It just wasn't a good movie.
But yeah. Well, you can't fault her. She didn't write the script.
Not.
But when she showed up hard.
Yeah.
A
lot of agitation over a dog's toy.
A dog's toy?
Yes, that's
well,
what we're
you don't
talking
know
about.
my dog.
There's a lot of
you
energy
obviously
on a
don't know
dog's-
my dog.
She deserves that big Oscar, that big juicy Oscar role that would normally go to someone like Meryl Streep or Glenn Close. She deserves that script, and then she deserves to own the shit out of it, and then she deserves her little gold statue, and then the rest of her career on Easy Street. So that's.
No, I agree
I love
with
you, Parker. So,
yeah.
I was going to say, this film the success of this film kicked off a big wave of mockumentaries that came out, including Drop Dead Gorgeous.
No, Drop Dead Gorgeous came before this.
Did it? Was it?
Yes,
Oh, it was a year before this, wasn't it? So
It was. But again, Drop Dead Gorgeous was a flop also.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, when I think of mockumentaries, I think this is probably the first one that comes to mind for most people when you think about this stuff.
It used to be This Is Spinal Tap, which Christopher Guest was involved in writing that one and was also in that film as well.
Yeah.
So he's kind of the king of mockumentaries.
But again, even then, that wasn't really a huge hit either that I'm aware of.
No, it's cult film. It's absolutely a cult film, and this is a cult
film.
But
like I said, this is like the first one that, in my mind, really put mockumentaries on the map, and it just kind of built from here.
Yeah, it's like a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it was a critical darling.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, he did another mockumentary like right after this, and I think I want to say...
They did The Mighty Wind?
They did Waiting for Guffman. And Eugene Levy actually thinks that that's the best mockumentary that they did, but it's not accessible to people that aren't familiar with theater, and so therefore it didn't get the recognition that it probably deserves. But he thinks that that's actually a better film and a funnier film than this one. Now, I've seen it and I loved it, but you have to know, Waiting for Godot, and if that means nothing to you, Waiting for Guffman is going to mean even less. But if you do know what it is, check it out. You'll enjoy it because you'll get all the jokes that they're making.
Yeah. I'll be lost in the dark then because I have no idea what the fuck that is.
So, final thoughts, recommendations?
It is an absolute recommend. It's definitely not a buy for me though. Again, it didn't land as much as I thought it would. I thought I was going to be gushing about this.
Yeah.
When I was watching, when we suggested it, but it is what it is.
It's a comedy that's 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I still laughed. Yeah. I still enjoyed it.
I still laughed too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I mean, I still enjoyed it.
I don't know that I would buy this one, but I would definitely recommend it. And if I walked into a room and someone was watching it, I would definitely sit down and finish watching it with them. So that's the best I can give you. And again, Fred Willard owns the last third of this film.
Yes.
And that is by far the most consistently funny stretch of 20 minutes of him being an announcer at a dog show that he knows nothing about.
Yeah, I would recommend it just for that. Just for that alone. And oh geez, Eugene Levy and what's her name?
Catherine O'Hara?
Catherine O'Hara,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
It's great. Yeah.
Anything else?
If you got some recommendations for us for mockumentaries, put them in the notes or any suggestion for that matter.
And other than that, we will catch you next time.